Hi everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to my channel for a new Heritage scrapbook process video. Here's a look at some of the things I'm going to be using today. I have this 4x6 family photo, and we all have these pictures. It's taken in like the 60s or 70s, and it's got kind of like this weird tint to it, and I've kind of been stumped thus far as to what to do with it, what to pair with it, but I think I have an idea. So I'm just showing you my thickers options here. Those are from Crate Paper and American Crafts, and then I might use this Dear Lizzy documentary cardstock sticker sheet, as well as these pattern papers also from the documentary collection from Dear Lizzy. So to kind of just embrace the coloring of this photo, I didn't change it to black and white. I decided to pull this collection because it has, you know, those creams and not bright whites, and that like purple color that is in the sweater of the little girl off to the right. And so I just decided to embrace the color and not fight it. So it's kind of cool in the album to see the evolution of the photos and how, you know, over the decades they changed their coloring and things like that. So I've pulled my favorite pattern papers that I want to use for this, and that ampersand photo is going to end up being the background. It's so busy, so I don't use much else with it here. But I needed to have a spot where I can write my journaling. So I'm going through my die cut thing there, and I'm pulling out some labels and things like that. I'm going to use the 3.5 by 6 card there. That's from Maggie Holmes' Styled Board collection. So I went ahead and trimmed the ampersand paper down to 9 by 12. All of the pages in this album are 9 by 12 size. It's a nice compact size. I thought about combining these two patterns and doing like a 1/3, 2/3 pattern type deal, but I didn't love it. It was a lot of that fuchsia color, and as it turns out, I think I didn't have enough of it for what I wanted to do. So here I'm just trying to figure out the thickers that I want to use, and that's going to help me determine the papers that I choose. So I'm going with these cork thickers, also from the documentary collection, and I'm spelling out the last name, and then that's going to be my title. I'm putting it down on wax paper because I'm not sure where I want it to go yet. So I'm thinking here about just kind of how to organize everything, and I want to go ahead and layer this polka dot paper underneath the label because it just kind of like is by itself hanging out there. In the meantime, I'm going to the sticker sheet, and I pulled out a piece of wax paper to put the stickers that I think I might want to use on it, but it turns out there's not much left on here that I want to use. It's kind of like random things like a cuckoo clock and a camera that don't really go with this, so I decided to just pull this one sticker that says all our yesterdays off and then just go from there. Instead of having a big piece of this fuchsia paper, I just went ahead and matted the photo with it, and I'm trying to figure out here the placement of things, and I'm trimming off a little bit of this card so that you can see the polka dot paper underneath it. I'm kind of on this kick like scrapbooking the families. I think this is the third one in a row that I've done, so I hope you guys aren't getting sick of it. I have a new series that I'm planning to do next week with school photos, and I have school pictures, you know, the little ones that you get, like the wallet size. I have several of those ranging from the 60s through the 90s. So I'm going to show you 2 or 3 different ways to use those in your heritage albums. While I've been chit-chatting, I went ahead and just roughly cut these circles from this piece of pattern paper. I think they're 2-inch circles because my 1.5-inch punch, which is the largest one I have, doesn't quite get all of it, but that's okay. So I'm just cutting, I'm cutting these out with my punch because I'm planning on using these as embellishments. But then I kind of get stumped about where to put them. So first I'm going to go ahead and get everything adhered down. And I think I like that, the journaling piece layered on top of the photo. And I'm going to make sure that it's centered and then put the title up there. And then I thought about using this black sticker, but it's so large and it didn't end up working, and I didn't really like the sentiment. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. So here you can see me just kind of putting the circles around the page, thinking I might want to use them as embellishments, but it just seemed really random to me, and that ampersand pattern paper is so busy as it is that I ended up just totally forgetting this idea. Now I have these stickers there from October afternoon, and I'm going to put the year down. I originally put 1970, but after confirming with a relative, I found out this photo was taken probably 1967, 1968. So I ended up swapping out the date, and then I'm going to take this one circle and layer it behind the photo so I have a place to put these numbered tile stickers. So I'm just going to get those over and make sure that they're all there. And it's kind of bothering me that they're just kind of hanging off the edge. And just that weird nothing space bothered me. So I'm going to start my journaling and then I'm going to come back to it. And I didn't plan out my journaling before. I talked to a relative about this photo to see when it was taken, where it was taken, and I got a little information. So I'm just kind of going from memory. This is my mom's family, so I have a pretty good idea of their story. So the journaling says, pictured left to right is Linda, CJ, Janet, Vicky, Cliff, and Susan. This photo was taken in 1967 or 68 for their church's directory. Cliff and Janet were on the pastoral selection committee at that time and invited Reverend Hahn to their church. He ended up becoming Linda's father-in-law. The Mulkeys lived in Florida in the home that Cliff built. Cliff was a master tradesman with plaster, Janet a housewife until after their divorce when she obtained her college degree and became a teacher in Miami. So just some anecdotes that I happen to know off the top of my head. Because it's my mom's family, I have several other pages with a lot more details about their family, so I can get into those things on other pages, and I've actually shared a couple of them with you guys here already. One last thing I'm going to do is pull out some more embellishments. I thought maybe enamel dots or something could work, but I end up using these puffy stickers from Crate Paper's Wonder Collection, and I'm just taking these triangles with the same color as the background paper and putting them on there to kind of spruce that up, and that's it. Here's a look at my final layout and a close-up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week for a new mini-series, I guess you could say, on how to use those school photos. See you then!